trying to get back into doing vlogs and capturing the adventure and all the things that I'm putting together with friends from back home and growing up, my old wakeboard community and all the things, and close to family now here in Western North Carolina and back in the good old Southeast. If you see me wiping my face, it's because it's humid AF, a little dehydrated at what seems like all the time, just because look at where we're at. We're hitting a heat wave nationwide in North America, it seems like, and I'm getting ready to go trail running here in a little bit. So we'll likely be trying to have a little bit of an electrolyte cocktail. I just had my multivitamins and other regular things that I'm doing just to try to stay feeling good. It's a combo of all the things. Electrolytes in the morning, I have some fish oil, a little beef liver, compliments of my buddy who is the new CEO of Ancestral Supplements, and just generally trying to stay healthy and increase performance as always. And we got some new undertakings with some friends coming up this fall, so we'll get after it. But until then, this is your update, and I'm just doing a little bit of housekeeping. Laundry and taking care of Coop, which has probably been maybe the more all-consuming thing. It's been probably a bit since the last real legitimate vlog I might have done, but let's call it the fall or maybe around Christmas time for some bike riding. But challenges as they may be, it has been unique. Coop is Coop, he's alive, he's well. I'm in a downswing right now. A little upset stomach, so we're doing the probiotic in the food to try to get him tightening back up. But the reality of it, that means he's normally going to the bathroom overnight in his bed, not going when we take him walking, and I don't know really the nature of that. And you know, he's had to be off of pain meds as of recently, goodness, maybe the last 2 months. It seemed like it just continued to keep his stomach a little unsettled, so I pulled him off of his meds, and now he had a couple months stretch that just felt so good. I mean, he was walking really well, lively, the energy, like he seemed like he was his old self without even the need for a pain med. Squatting with no issue, which I mean just was amazing. So I thought we were in the clear for a while, like a total new turn of the leaf. But now the way he is, it's just hard to tell. Right now I just want to get him with some consistent bowels, and then we'll be in a whole new realm. So not a problem there, but just I never know what to expect each week. Week after week, if it's a good week, I'll take it. And that's really sort of kept me a little more preoccupied with caretaking for him and not documenting the funtivities of what life is like at this time. That said, a lot of my days are just in and outs between doing laundry, taking care of Coop. I got a new job, working for an awesome little private practice that is cash-based, very enjoyable when it comes to the work-life harmony, something I wasn't sure existed in medicine anymore, but it certainly does, and I'm loving it. Serving the community, we work with runners, cyclists, CrossFitters, and people just trying to maintain high performance, and that's been lovely. And I think just getting back in the groove of not only doing good patient care, but there's been just a lot of other stuff going on. I moved back to the Southeast. That means there's a large amount of people I need to catch up with, starting with my parents, my brother, and my close friend circle from this area. And it's been amazing, but it has been a full schedule since. So doing all that has not come easy, and I've just tried to make sure I'm taking care of myself, Coop, and then getting time for everybody else while we're here. I want to keep documenting, absolutely, but I also am trying to stay in shape. I just finished a bulk block in the dead of winter, and then like a conditioning block as of right now, just hit me during the prime of bike season, and now transitioning into the fall with some new large objectives running. So there is a lot coming together, and that is sort of why the updates have been sparse, because I'm just very busy living life, but also I didn't know what's worthy of capturing. For instance, like, is this good stuff to capture? This is van life, just doing some traditional laundry stuff for myself and getting ready to go on a big trail run today to start off a big block of running and conditioning. That said, van life is pretty easy here. Population density in the east is a lot larger, but it is very easy to survive thus far when it comes to tucking away neatly where I need to park for work, gym, trails, etc. It's not bad, but I didn't know if it was really vlog worthy, and I didn't know what people were wanting to watch. So here we are. I'm showing you where the magic happens. And when I say magic, I mean recovery, because that's been lately the most important part of life down here, because I'm sweating out all day in the heat, which is actually pretty welcome nowadays. unlike the West Coast, you really don't need lotion down here because you're moister than an oyster, and I'm sweating out all day. And then I go to the gym, ew, just because it feels like you can't escape it. Even when I'm drying laundry, it's like, is it ever dang get dry? So yeah, my new favorite hat, and that is a sweat line or a salt line after it gets wet with sweat, dries, and repeats itself multiple times per day. But I'm gonna have to get into the bed to keep making this, so stick with me. I've also continued knocking out stuff for my van. So I've gotten a lift put on the van, so that is just been a very nice touch. Gotta get the corners in. Got the van compass lift put in, which has been fantastic. I've loved having a cushier ride. Not only is it cushier, but with the settings, I've got like a highway setting that firms it up. So that's amazing to drive with because it handles these mountains real well. But also going up Forest Service roads, if I'm going to camp with friends or if we're just trying to escape for the weekends, very nice. It just takes it so well. All of the turbulence of a Forest Service road, the washboard style terrain. So that's been great. I've loved having that style capability. I've also put a nudge bar in, which is great on the front. The nudge bar has been very desirable. And I got a rear door platform, put in additional bike racks on it so I can shuttle with the van if we had to, or just connect with somebody and throw 2 extra bikes on the rear and not have to take mine out of the back, which is always a dream. So the van also got some step boards. After we lifted it, I could tell that I was struggling with my small stature to get in and out. I didn't mind it, just a nice weighted step up all of the time, but I could totally tell there was no chance Coop was ever gonna jump in or out again. But in the case he gets ambitious or there's a turd popping out and he decides to exit without asking, then I hated to watch him jump out like that. It just seemed like he couldn't control it well anymore. So I knew that the step bars were something I really needed, and this was all from Flatline Van Co. And I've absolutely loved not only working with them on this build, but their continued customer service for me has been so epic with ordering, with questions on install. Also, their instructions that come in the boxes are surprisingly epic, like all about prep, getting the materials, tools needed, and then the step-by-step. It all is in an order that's surprisingly not intuitive if you were to just open the box and start, and when you do read through it, very methodical, and when you get down to it can save you a lot of time. So pretty impressed with just having had the opportunity to work with these guys, see the products in person, and then now having them installed much of my van, and then also install several pieces for myself with the help of Mr. William Walden, my dad. Man, I feel very fortunate that I just had the opportunity to work with him, work with my dad on this stuff, and had it been something where I had zero support, it would have been a butt to try to do all on my own, especially with long pieces of metal that are ultimately quite heavy, and when they're oblong, they feel heavy, especially when you're trying to mount it, get it into place, and do so with the drill, screws, and do so accurately. Yeah, it was a bit of a bear at times, but here we are. So the van's been better than ever, and I've run into some old friends that have vans now, and you know, they do stuff with their kids, their whole family out at the campgrounds, and it's just been so desirable catching back up and putting these style of adventures together, whether you live in a home in a van, but with that group of people, it's unlocked so much ease for us all to get together, do more stuff. We do less time prepping, packing, and getting our gear together. We just drive, show up, and then open the doors of the van, and we're already in the camp, and it's perfect. You know, I also came back to the East Coast sort of in with a different tone. Wasn't sure what the plan was trying to do something out of my comfort zone, which was move somewhere, 1, in the heat, 2, closer to home without the amenities that I'm used to, the ocean, lift access bike parks, let's say the style of dirt that I'm used to. I really do appreciate riding in the Northwest, and maybe with no end in sight of a job. Typically worked on contracts, and those always give you light at the end of the tunnel. With a 13-week contract, you know your end date, no matter how difficult, great, challenging, or unappealing the job is. A lot of times that's how I could describe several contracts, not all, but several. It's tough because you know it's gonna end and you can realize there's something on the other side of that contract. But I moved back not necessarily knowing what that next thing was, so I was considering permanent jobs, contracts, contracts, and I wasn't for sure what that was going to be. So it took me a second to come to that place and recognize, is this for a while? Is this not for a while? What am I gonna do with it? Am I always just gonna be driving to the coast to surf here? Or am I gonna be traveling around just trying to avoid the rainy areas and the mud and still be able to ride? Or will I just switch from mountain to gravel or gravel to road, just trying to make sure I can stay on 2 wheels? Bug. Mosquitoes lately have been ripping me. But yeah, I think the tone was unique. So I've got a couple of YouTube channels now, a couple that I run that are automated, just monetization of ads and things. I've been really aggressive in real estate since I got back and got rid of my first van. I am now just only in the Mercedes, and it has been a totally different game. The real estate stuff has proved challenging, fun, unique, like stuff I didn't know, and it's been a really cool part of my life that I didn't know I wanted to get involved with in terms of permanence and like long-term compassion for myself and trying to invest a little more wisely for the lifestyle that I'm looking for. And it's been very unlocking to realize what's possible nowadays. So now just trying to see how to blend it all together now that things are rolling between long-term properties, trying to help that out with our property, do some short-term stuff, and then get myself back to the personal branding online. I love that. The culture of Stoke was a big part of my life. I didn't want to let that go, but I think what I also realized is, how do I bring it back and do it in a certain way that was maybe more evergreen? How can I use it to get more people together, do fun stuff together, and for all of us to take better care of ourselves mentally so we can do more good stuff, more of the van life, more of the biking, the surfing, creating experiences, and without realizing, there's bugs everywhere. Without realizing how I would do it, some stuff sort of fell into my lap. And I heard from some new companies offline that were trying to break into North American market and have European roots, brands that I've been wanting to work for. And they're like, hey, this is what we're looking for out of you. We did a series of interviews and then sort of collaborative talks on how we can make the function between the two of us the best. It's been very exciting. And now trying to document more of that with people, doing product testing, designing new products that can be things that we love to use on the trails or running. And that is the new thing. So sorry for the long-windedness, but that is why I haven't been producing the same style of content. It's because I've just been sort of doing the work behind the scenes, doing the stuff that I knew would unlock the lifestyle I was trying to lead and live. And now I'm getting a lot more time with this work-life harmony to do things with my dad, brother, my mom, see her more regularly, see friends more regularly, travel to Johnson City, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Nashville, all around the North Carolina area, and of course just be back heavy in Appalachia. And things have picked up here. The riding is crazy. The culture of bike, culinary community, it's here, and it's very exciting. So you'll see some cameos, maybe familiar faces. Mike Hurt, he's a friend of mine from out west van travel, initially connected paths in like Flagstaff bike riding in the desert, and then back again in California, and then he was part of our original wild trip to Portugal. But it'll be him and my buds from wakeboarding, Adam McCall and Austin Box, all of the Waldens, and just my kin. It's a really cool scene. So excited to not just do the same stuff I've been doing, the biking and the surfing, but now we're going to be doing boat stuff, whitewater rafting. Maybe I'll strap a wakeboard on again, and also just fun stuff, getting the dogs out to swim in these old lakes that I grew up around, and it seems really neat, and I'll try to capture it as good as I can. Sorry for the long-windedness, but that is a full update, and I hope it was informative. If you have more questions, comment below. But I hope it was informative in a way that you don't feel let down that I wasn't still producing the same content. I have been getting a little more interested in what I can produce for Culture of Stoke on a digital product and course. It just doesn't seem as close to me as it once was. So I'm gonna make sure I put the time that it needs and see what I can do and produce so it's a product that I'm proud of and something that's maybe more deliverable to people without me, because I want to be doing in-person events with people for the Culture of Stoke in the long haul. Bed's finally made. Took way too long, didn't it? But when it comes down to things here with Coop, I don't feel the need to travel when I finally have some stability for him. So why? So I want to keep that going, and as long as he's happy and doing what he's doing, I think I can keep it rolling. That said, the decision has been, you know, in the back of my mind to say maybe it's time for him to move on. But when we're having good weeks, even the bad weeks, and he's still doing this well, that's what I'll have to just keep on letting carry me, because he's still there most of the time. But sometimes on the tough nights and the tough times when he's getting baths daily and I'm doing laundry daily, it does feel like I question the sustainability. Thanks for being here. It has been a long time, but please subscribe, like this video, comment below what else you want. I'm about to do some unboxing of the new product that I got, and maybe take you along for a trail run and a ride soon, and more outdoorsy stuff to come. Later.